Ooh, welcome to episode 63 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
Hi, Chris. I'm George. How's everybody's Thursday doing?
Thursday was actually quite good for me, I gotta say. It was a nice, easy day at work.
Very
And
nice.
now I'm here talking the graps with you, and it doesn't get much better than that.
You ready for this story?
Yeah, sure am.
Yesterday, boss sends out an email saying, "Hey guys, getting pizza tomorrow." I totally blew this email off, forgot about it. I go get lunch at like 11:15, like I normally do. I'm walking back to my desk with my sandwich, and there's a bunch of pizzas there. And I was like, "Oh, what's this?" You know. So I ate my sandwich and I ate a shitload of pizza because it's free pizza, and now I want to die, or at least I did for like 4 hours. I feel much better now, though.
Yeah.
So dinner. Needless to say, dinner was a protein shake because I didn't want to eat actual real food.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to either at that point in time. But hey, that's awesome though. Free pizza is never a bad thing. Like, until you just have eaten too much, then it is a bad thing.
Exactly, with a sandwich.
Yeah, with the sandwich on top of it. So we've got ourselves a pretty WWE heavy show this week. We've got to talk about Takeover Chicago. We've got Money in the Bank, and we've got the United Kingdom Championship tournaments. First of all, though, of course, we want to send our condolences off to the family of Big Van Vader. Passed away earlier this week. Real hard loss for the wrestling community, and he's been dealing with a lot of health. He was dealing with a lot of health trouble for a very long time, and finally succumbed to what was afflicting him. It's a very unfortunate loss, but he will be very fondly remembered, of course, by everybody in the community. He did amazing things. He was a pioneer among big men, and he will be greatly missed. Always imitated, never duplicated. And
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say with that, let's keep going. But if you've got words, please.
Well, my match of the week is a Vader match, so I'll eulogize the man, and I'll do the match of the week in one fell swoop, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. Please.
The funny thing about Vader is that he was a fat ginger who wore a jockstrap on his face, and despite or because of that, he was still the scariest damn mofo on the planet. I remember 7-year-old me being utterly and completely terrified when he broke Sting's ribs in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
And afraid, oh my God, Sting is going to die. This giant monster is going to kill and eat him and eat his babies. I was terrified of Vader. There are a ton of super athletic big man wrestlers today. Tons. Donovan Dijak and Keith Lee come to mind first and foremost, but Walter, lots of super athletic big men. It's kind of a staple.
War Machine.
War Machine, you're right.
Absolutely.
There has never been a big man as athletic as Vader that still came off like a super intimidating killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people who are smarter than me have said that he is the best big man wrestler in history.
Yeah.
And I am inclined to agree. I always found him to be the ideal big man, Chris, because 95% of the time he wrestled like a big man.
Yeah.
Clubs, power moves, slaps, punches, big man moves, And but he was never laboring. He was never sucking wind. He was never slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would break out a moonsault. Like, holy shit, this guy's fucking great. There are a ton of great Vader matches. I'm going to run through a few of them very quickly that I dug up. The Brutal Cactus Jack matches from 93 and their blow off at Halloween Havoc, must see, where Foley gets his ear ripped off in the ring. He talks about in the book. The Sting trilogy, which is one I'm going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 Flair matches, including the comeback at Starrcade 92, where Flair turned babyface because Sid Vicious got fired from the company for being a dumbass.
Yeah.
So they turned Flair babyface last minute, and babyface Ric Flair put his career on the line against Vader in front of a hot crowd, and the two had an awesome match.
Nice.
Dustin Rhodes / Goldust at Clash of the Champions in 94. The Fatal 4-Way in 97 in the WCW. The SummerSlam match against HBK in 96. He got one last really good Hulk Hogan match in '93, and that doesn't count the Japan stuff where he was an absolute phenom.
Yeah.
He caused a riot in New Japan. You know the story?
No, I do not.
Okay. So Vader goes to New Japan in '87, and his first match there is in Sumo Hall against Inoki. And Inoki said, all right, I want you to beat me in 3 minutes. I really want to make you. I'm Antonio Inoki, and you're just going to kill me because you're this giant-ass white guy. Big, scary gaijin, right? And so Vader beats him. And the match itself is, I saw the match. It's a 2-minute squash. There's nothing really special.
Yeah, nothing.
But the crowd at Sumo Hall literally rioted, and New Japan was kicked out of the building for a year. They had to publicly apologize and come back. But then we got Vader Hansen fighting and as a tag team. We got Vader Muta in the G1. We got Vader Hashimoto for the IWGP. Vader's one of the few guys ever to win heavyweight belts in Japan. He's a former IWGP champion. Mexico. He's a former CMLL and UWF heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States. He's a former WCW heavyweight champion. He has won the Champion Carnival and against Kobashi and Misawa and all those guys. He has competed in the G1. He has competed in various tournaments all over the world. He was a phenom, and he was an aspiring guy for how you can just be a big, scary dude. Yep. And I lament a lot the dearth of big men wrestlers who wrestle like big men. Mm-hmm. Like, I love Keith Lee and Donovan Dijak, but less flips and more fists.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about this before.
Walter is the last great big man.
Walter's the last great big man because he wrestles like a big mofo.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're at Walter, you're carrying on the legacy. So my match of the week is the match where Vader beat Sting for the WCW Heavyweight Championship. It's the Great American Bash 1992.
Right. All right.
17 minutes long. And it's Vader clubbing Sting, Sting throwing Vader around, including a really nifty suplex from the ring apron into the ring. Because holy Christ, Sting was jacked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Vader sold enough to make the match good. But he never oversold, and he never did the exaggerated facial expressions because it wouldn't work for him. He's a big dude, right? He sold like he was in a fight, which I love.
Yep.
The match itself, like I said, let me scroll down. Oh, by the way, Jim Ross on commentary, which was always a gem. Yeah. Back when JR had its fastball.
Yep.
See, the match starts with Vader just massive forearms because he's a big, stiff, strong style. He would have been so perfect today. If you could transport like 1990 Vader to 2018, he would be like what you want Bad Luck Fale to be, but better.
Yeah.
Just this big, scary, strong style, stiff mofo who just mauls guys, you know? Like, it just would have been so great. I'm scrolling down. I just, you wish. How about these two guys just, somewhere along the match happened, in this match, they decided to just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
So, like, welts were forming on people's faces. And I'm like, I am here for this shit. You know me, I'm an easy man, Chris. I am here for this.
Yeah. You are easy to please, and that is
I'm easy to please. Just give me guys beating the crap out of each other.
Yep.
Like, I'm not a toe. I don't have a lot of complex wrestling tastes, you know? The finish is Sting goes for a Stinger Splash, misses, bashes his head on the ring post, gigs, and Vader hits him with a powerbomb 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And that's it. He's the champ. WCW heavyweight champ. Right? Hey, if you're going to make a man, you make a man. And we'll talk about that with the G1. Teaser alert. When you want to make a guy, make a guy. Yeah. So,
well, G1 talk is going to be next week, FYI. We're going to do all the G1 stuff next week. But we're going to stick to WWE this week.
So,
teaser for you guys
the shit out of each other.
Now.
It's fine with me. Two guys just mauling each other. I loved it. Cool finish. Cool power moves. Sting does a Samoan drop to Vader. Vader gets caught up in the ring turnbuckle, and so Sting basically just carries him like a big-ass dumbbell, a barbell of squat weights, and walks to the middle of the ring, and he's sitting there, and he's growling, and he just falls back, and it's so great. You know, it's like, yeah! Love wrestling. Yeah. So yeah, and he was the first wrestler that, and maybe the last, who ever really just scared the shit out of me. So I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the big guy. Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. So, from the past to the present, as my match of the week takes us looking ahead to the end of the show, because the end of the show is going to be our only bit of non-WWE business, and we'll get to that when we get there. But I am going to take this opportunity to talk about the easiest 4 3/4 star match that I've ever given out.
Oh, I love it.
And you know my love for women's wrestling. You know my love for good women's wrestling.
Oh, you should listen to the show that Philip Exman and I just did, because she goes over the end of a Pro Wrestling Eve show with Charlie Morton, just killing fools, and it sounds like such a great match.
Oh, Charlie Morgan's amazing.
Yeah,
she's like great new talent. I love her. But this match is I've waxed poetic about Io Shirai, my favorite wrestler. One of the best women's wrestler in the world right now. One of the best wrestlers. One of the best wrestlers, regardless of gender, in the world today. I've waxed poetic about her career many times, and she has had some amazing, amazing matches. This match I'm going to talk about today is not her best match, but by God, this is the most important match of her career, because this match is the match that turns us from Io Shirai, promising young prospect in the burgeoning growth of Stardom, to now Io Shirai, best women's wrestler on the planet. This comes from December 23rd, 2015 at Korakuen Hall, Stardom's year-end bash show. The World of Stardom title match. The top belt in the company. Challenger Io Shirai versus champion Meiko Satomura. And God in heaven, Meiko is considered one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, and it has been for a long time, and she's earned it. 38 years old, and she still goes hard. You could not pay me to get kicked by Meiko Satomura. You could not pay me enough.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
That woman is terrifying.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But she had won the World of Stardom title off of Kairi Hojo 150 days earlier, and had basically run roughshod over the company. They brought her in as they basically brought her in to fulfill the role that WWE used to bring Brock Lesnar in for, and now they just use him for crap. But she was going to be the ultimate badass. She was going to be the unstoppable monster, the obstacle that no one in the company could overcome, because she was the best women's wrestler on the planet, and nobody could touch her. And she knew it, and she just beat the shit out of fools every time that they stepped in the ring with her. She mauled Kairi for the belt. She destroyed Mayu Iwatani in her first defense of the belt. And here we are now, end of 2015, and it's Io's turn. The third of Stardom's rising field of competitors. And this was a moment unlike any other, because leading up to this match, you have the typical, cocky veteran attitude of Meiko always saying, you can't beat me. I've already beaten your two best friends. There's no way you can possibly do anything to me like they did. There's no way. There's no way. And so Io's coming into this match feeling disrespected and taken for granted. But Meiko is still a woman of principle and of respect for the business, and offers the handshake before the match, and Io refuses because she's about had enough of this old woman talking shit. Match starts out with an absolutely brilliant exchange of holds, just seamless transitions, the kind of stuff you'd see out of a Zack Sabre Jr. match. Really, really good stuff. Going right to the standoff. And Io's hot coming out. She's just on fire already. Does not want to be disrespected. And just gets right in Meiko's face, slaps her in the face. Meiko goes to hit her. She ducks the strike, slaps her again. So Meiko just says, all right, kicks her straight in the leg, and uppercuts her right down to the mat because she's Mako fucking Satomura and she'll disrespect anyone she damn well pleases.
Love it.
They get into a sequence where Mako whips Io towards the ropes but holds her wrist and runs with her and goes right into a knee to the gut and then does it again going the other way. And Io's just already, she's in over her head. She's just already getting just the crap beaten out of her, just like Kairi and Mayu had before. Mako's firmly in control. Everything that Io tries is getting blocked, and she just ends up eating a couple of kicks straight to the head that send her straight out of the ring. She is being soundly taken to school by the veteran. Mako's just taking her time. She is just, she knows she's got it in the bag. She knows. She's Mako Satomura. She can't lose. So finally, Io just picks up the pace and catches her with a drop kick by surprise, sends her out of the ring, and then dives on the outside, flying cross body, gives her the advantage. The crowd is immediately, on fire for Io because she's the homegrown talent. She's the one that they believe is the future, and they are all in for her. They want her to win this really bad. So Io carries Mako up the stairs. You know how they have the stairs up in Barackan Hall and lead up to those like entrance ways that have the big arches over them on either side. So they get up to the top of the stairs. Mako takes over again, though, with a couple of strikes. Goes for her finisher, the Death Valley Bomb. Io blocks it, lands on her feet, and takes Mako down with some kicks. Then gets up on top of one of those entry archways and just hits her with a freaking moonsault right off the archway into the crowd there. It's fantastic. Mako's out. Io just drags her corpse back to the ring. Springboard dropkick to get back into the ring, right into a 619. Because that's what Io Shirai does. Because she is that freaking agile. It's amazing.
So good.
Yeah. Goes to the springboard again. Mako says, not happening. Catches her as she's going up and just straight up uppercuts her all the way to the floor. Io's down and takes a while to get back up. Gets back on the apron, eats an elbow straight to the face for her efforts. She's holding on to the top rope, trying to hold on for dear life. Mako goes for another kick. Io catches the kick and rings her leg up on the ropes, gets the leg trapped, and Mako's trying to get out. She's trying to get out. Io goes to the top turnbuckle, missile drop kick straight to the back. Mako is not in good spirits there. Io goes up again, but Mako says, nope, not again. Catches her, pulls her down, Pele kick straight to the head. More kicks to the head. Io's back down on the floor. Belly to back suplex on the floor. Io is down and out. Barely beats the count back into the ring. It's 19, and she barely beats the count back in. Mako's like, all right, fine. Here's more punishment for you. Just kicks her straight in the chest like 3 times in a row. Another kick straight to the side of the head. Goes for the cover. Io barely kicks out at 2.5. She's screaming in pain, holding her jaw. It's an uncomfortable sight to watch. Another kick straight to the jaw. They go whip for whip back into the corners. Mako hits her with an arm drag, puts her into an STF. And Io's barely holding on. She's barely there, grasping for anything that she can to try and get to the ropes. Is about to get there. Mako rolls her over onto her back and maintains the hold.
Nice.
Io barely has the presence of mind to continue the momentum and hook her arm around onto the other rope and barely makes it. Oh, my goodness. More kicks because that's what Mako Satomura does. Io's just lifeless. Mako tries to pick her up, runs in for a drop kick. Io gets her fighting spirit up, surprises her with a Hurricane Rana though, straight to the floor, straight to the ring. But Mako just kicks her down again, and Io gets back up again. Fighting spirit, forearm exchanges. Io ducks another kick to the head, hard slap to the face, hits her with the bridging German. Mako kicks out. This is Io's finally starting to get her offense going though. Another hard kick to the chest though from Mako stops her momentum. Io's hung up on the ropes. Mako hits her with a handspring knee to the back of the head. Hits the cover, only 2. Goes to the Death Valley Bomb again. Io blocks it. Hits her with some strikes. Tombstone. Falls into the cover, basically unconscious. Not enough. They're both spent at this point, but Io musters herself back up, hits double knees in the corner, sets Mako up, hits a hesitation drop kick right in the face. Still not enough. Io's at this point just like, oh my God, this old woman's taking me to the limit. What do I got to do? Hits her with a missile drop kick off one corner. Goes for it again off the next corner. Mako's out at 2 again. Reversal, another kick by Mako. Goes for the suplex. Io reverses it into a sunset flip. Another 2 count. Right into the crossface. Right into the crossface. Seamless transition. It was beautiful to watch. Mako's fighting. She barely makes the ropes with her legs. She can't even see where she's going. She just barely hits it with presence of mind in the ring. Io goes up again to try and hit another high maneuver. Mako gets up, slaps her straight in the face, strikes her down to sitting on the turnbuckle, goes up, superplex. They're both down and out. Mako can't make the cover. They're both down. Ref gets to 7, and they both bench to get out. Io hits her with a frenzy of strikes, but Mako goes off the ropes and hits one of those rolling kicks like Rusev does. That's his finisher. The macho.
Nice. Yeah.
Mako does one of those. Just drops Io right in, just right there. Overhead suplex, kicks her in the head again. Another overhead suplex, still no good. Sleeper hold is on now. Io's fading. She's barely there. And Mako transitions it into, she traps the arm between her legs, wraps the other arm around Io's neck, and goes into a one-arm straitjacket. Io barely makes the ropes again. And it's so nuts.
Sounds like too many false finishes.
Oh, you may think so, but like it just, I don't know. It just works so well for how the two of them, because the two of them have such good chemistry. Like it just fits the dynamic that the two of them have. It's amazing. Io strikes the knee, hits a kick, gets another kick to the head. She's eaten like 10 of these kicks to the head at this point in the match. Gets her fighting spirit up again. More strikes, but another uppercut lays her out. Another uppercut. Death Valley Bomb gets blocked. Io hits the German again. Rolls out. Hits another one. Bridges. Out at 2. Io tries for the new moonsault. Mako gets the knees up. The kick is blocked. Io tries a kick of her own. Gets caught. Another uppercut. Mako hits the Death Valley Bomb. Io kicks out at 2. Mako hits it again. Goes for it a 3rd time. Io breaks out. And in the most beautiful sequence of callbacks, butterfly suplex to Miramai Iwatani, elbow drop to Mirakari Hojo, moonsault, pin. Io wins the belt. Absolutely freaking amazing.
I like the callbacks.
Yeah, the callbacks were the best part of it. Like, because both of them had hit their finishers on Mako in their respective title matches, and neither one of them got it done. So Io's just like, all right, all 3 of them, let's just do it. And that was the start of the 546-day World of Stardom title reign for Io Shirai. The second reign that she had with the belt.
That will be an impressive amount of time.
Yeah, a year and a half.
For an impressive lady.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if you just have to watch the match. It's a 25-minute match. It breezes by like 15, and it's just such a fun watch. I love the hell out of this match. Even with the false finishes, like you said, even with that, it still is just it's breathtaking to watch. Like, because these two are just the top of their game. Io's not even at the top of her game at that point. She's barely scratched the surface, but she still is just freaking amazing. And Mako is obviously one of the best ever, and they just put on a clinic, and the crowd was into it. The crowd was so hyped for Io. Every time she hit a big move, they were going crazy for her. They loved everything about it. The funniest part of it for me, honestly, was seeing all of the young stars of Stardom who were still developing in the dojo, running around acting as they do in Stardom. They were running around being like ushers and making sure nobody was in the way of the power moves or anything. Tending to the wrestlers while they were down. You see young Jungle Kiona, young Chris Wolf, all out there and just doing their thing, and looking ahead, thinking about where they're at now. It's funny as hell to see. So that was just a ton of fun to watch, and we'll be talking more about Io Shirai later a lot, because we got there's things happening that we need to talk about. But yeah, watch that freaking match. It's easily, like I said, not Io's best match, but an amazing match nonetheless, and the most important of her career. Just so good.
I love it. No, that's great. I'm excited. I'm excited for the later part of the show, because listening to you talk about Io Shirai tells me that you love her, And when you love something, you should share it with the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fuck yeah. So
we're gonna have a lot. We're gonna be talking a lot there. But let's get down to the current affairs first. The business of the night, that being WWE.
Do you want to do Money in the Bank or do you want to do NXT?
Let's do NXT. Let's go in chronological order.
All
WWE
right.
had themselves a kind of a busy week.
Scrolling up. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I have a question for you, brother Chris. You saw NXT?
Yes, I did.
You know what a hot take is, right? Okay. I have a question. I'm going to give you a take, and you're going to tell me how hot it is.
All right.
Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, absolute zero, black, floating in space, ice cold, unless you're near a star, but we'll assume ice cold. And 10 being, white hot.
Surface of the sun.
Surface of the sun. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The best match on NXT TakeOver was the tag team match. Is that a hot take? Cold take?
I'd give it about a 4 because that's what I've heard from a lot of people. And I can't say I disagree with it. I mean, I liked pretty much every match on this card, but I can say that I can see where people come from with that. For sure.
Yeah, I loved this match. I have another take for you. Another take.
Go ahead.
Kyle O'Reilly is the second best wrestler in NXT behind Johnny Gargano.
I'm going to give that closer to like a 7.
Okay.
It's quite a statement to make given some of the talent that's in NXT right now.
Yeah. And that's the statement I stand by.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was tremendous in this match. I thought
he absolutely was. He was
unbelievable.
Amazing. Yes.
And I think he's been tremendous for months.
Yes.
And that's not to take anything. And that's not to take anything away from the other 3 guys in this match who were all great in their own unique way. Only Lorcan is the most underrated wrestler on the planet.
Yes.
Not the most underrated wrestler in the WWE. The most underrated wrestler on the planet.
Yes.
He is sensational. He's so good.
Yeah.
Like
he is unfortunately held back by the fact that management can't get over the fact that he looks like a gremlin.
Yes. Because, but I don't care. That's okay.
Screw him.
And Danny Burch punching guys in the face is always fun to watch.
Oh yes.
So
Danny Burch, like I cannot get enough Danny Burch / Martin Stone in my life.
How about them getting the crowd on their side?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the essential role that they had. That's what they had to do. They had to overcome the fact that they were in, kind of a smarky town. Kind of. It may or may not be the home base of AAW, so it may or may not be a smarky crowd. Now we're watching Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong, and they had the unenviable.
Who were super loved by this crowd.
Yeah, because everybody loves the cool heels.
Yep.
And Undisputed Era
cool heels who have walked in this town before.
Undisputed Era are the epitome of cool heels. So they had the unenviable task of getting past that repertoire, and they managed to do it. But it's an unfortunate thing. Yeah. Actually, Adam, good analysis there. They seem trapped in studio tag team mode. I would say, Gatekeeper is almost is almost too good of a term for them because they're established as being a strong team, but they almost never win matches. So
yeah, how strong are they?
How can you consider them gatekeepers if their winning record is sub 500, without even having to think about it.
Exactly.
So that's a rough one, but there's still a
really. I thought this was the best match in the show. To be honest, I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
I liked the presentation. We rag on WWE for their presentation, but when NXT does the thing where they lower the crowd lights and the whole match is in darkness, it really gives it a very intimate indie feel. I know that their whole gimmick, NXT's entire gimmick, is indie fed on steroids. But when they bathe the crowd in darkness, you only get to see the first 3 rows of a crowd. It feels like you're at PWG or whatever, Yep. You can't see anything past row 6. So I thought O'Reilly was sensational. I thought Lorcan and Burch and Strong were excellent in their own regards. I loved the manager getting thrown out. I always pop for that no matter how many times I've seen it. The referee throwing the guy. You're out of here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The great moment, yeah.
How about the counter to that weird submission thing where he's countering the half crab by kicking him in the head from his back?
That was great.
Oh my god, never seen that before.
So creative. Like that was the essential piece of this match that made it great was that everything was just so creative and innovative. Every moment.
I mean, I wish O'Reilly was like 4 inches taller, because then he'd be on the main roster already.
Yeah.
But he is not a large man, and they still care about that, which is too damn bad.
Yeah.
So, because he is awesome. Mm-hmm. So, love this match. If you can't tell. Mm-hmm. If you can't tell, George enjoyed this professional wrestling exhibition.
Yes. I did too, honestly. I don't know if I would call it the best match on the show I don't know if I would call it the best match on the show for my own personal tastes, but it was a very good match. Very enjoyable.
We'll get there. I had some problems with the other contender for best match on the show. Mm-hmm. We'll get there though. Dream Ricochet. Let's talk about Velveteen Dream for a minute.
I have a lot to say on this one.
Jump into this match.
Yeah.
Now, he is overrated in the ring. I think that's pretty clear. But no, no one has gotten more mileage out of one great match than Velveteen Dream has, and I'm talking about the match with Aleister Black.
Yes, that is very much true. Yes, but I don't want to say that he's overrated. I just think that they have done a good job of highlighting his strengths and masking his deficiencies.
No, he's got the hard part down. The gimmick and the promo work, that's the hard part. He's got that shit down. My problem with Dream is that he is still thinking rather than reacting in the ring.
Yes.
Like, you can still see the wheels turning. Okay, I need to be here. Okay, I need to be here.
Yeah.
And if the match falls apart, looking at the Chris Hero match from...
Oh, yeah.
He is lost. But here's the deal, though. That's easy to fix. 200 matches a year will fix that shit right up. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, so...
He will find the way, yes.
He's 22. Got a great look. Got great presence. Got great charisma. His charisma is 4 stars. His in-ring is 2.5 stars. So, but... The WWE,
I would go a little higher. I'd say probably 3, but, that's...
WWE has...
Personal taste.
Yeah, the WWE has gotten 40 years of mileage out of guys who are charismatic and can't work. And he can work. And I'm not saying he can't work.
Yeah, we're not. He's no Hulk Hogan here.
No, the template is there. So, that's more than fine.
Absolutely.
So, Ricochet, I thought was great. In fact, I could tell that he had slowed it down because you watch Ricochet on like New Japan or PWG when he's going full speed, and it's like, holy shit, this guy's a blur.
Yep, exactly.
He's not a blur, which is fine.
That's something that I wanted to touch on because like Ricochet does not get enough credit for his ability to adapt to what's going on in a match. Like there are a lot of people who will say, it's always flips and nothing special with Ricochet. I countered that by saying go watch when he was tag teaming with Ryusuke Taguchi. Yep. And they had a sensational match against the Young Bucks. And Ricochet was, hobbling through that match, selling an injury, and he adapted everything that he was doing around that injury, and it was incredible. It was incredible. So I will never say that Ricochet is a one-trick pony. He's got a lot more to offer than just the simple flips and stuff. Which is, not simple. But it's considered to be a one-dimensional style, and he has got far more to him than that.
Yeah, this match, like I said, it almost felt like Ricochet had to dial himself down to keep up, so that Dream could keep up with him.
Yes, he did.
It's funny. Despite all that, I still think Dream should have won this match. I don't really love him. I don't really love Ricochet. I think Dream's gimmick of Bray Wyatt 2.0, talk, and then lose a big match, lost to Black, beat Hero, lost to Ricochet. Like Velveteen's gimmick, Dream's gimmick is like the mid-card gatekeeper. Like, we can do better, can't we?
I think we could, yes, but I think that also, I hesitate to do this on most occasions, and I feel like this is going to come back to bite me in the ass. But I feel like they're taking their time with him because I feel like they don't want him to be brought up to the main and get eaten alive when they completely fuck over his gimmick, because they will, because that's what they do on the main roster.
They'll fuck over Ricochet's too, and everyone else's. Like, it's just,
but like especially Dreams, because it's like it's towing the line, and like they can do that in NXT. They know how to toe the line in NXT. And the main roster, they're fucking bludgeoning you to death with sledgehammers. So there's not going to be any subtlety to that, and they are not going to be able to make that feel, organic and natural and worthwhile. So I want to say that I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in saying that they are taking their time with him and giving him the opportunities to fully develop, so that when they do call him up to the main roster, then he can kind of say to creative, all right, this has been working for me, this is what I'm capable of, and you've seen that everybody gets into it, so let's stick with it. And hopefully they give him the agency that he deserves in order to stick with it. But, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not. We'll get there. We'll get there, but WWE main roster is mostly a tire fire.
Yeah.
You just got to enjoy the insanity, or there's no point in watching except to make yourself miserable.
Yeah.
They'll fuck up Dream or they won't, but just revel in the insanity, dude. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? So, I don't know. Dream, like I said, Dream's problems are not systemic. They are easy to fix. Reps.
Yeah.
Assuming he stays away from what allegedly kept him off the show in January. Allegedly. Kept him off the show. Allegedly. He should be okay.
I am not aware.
You remember when after he beat Chris Hero, he kind of disappeared for a little bit?
Yeah.
Allegedly, I say again, allegedly, he had to. He developed a taste or a smell for a certain.
Okay.
Allegedly, developed the smell for a certain thing. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
So, assuming that he can stay away from that. Allegedly, that he should be okay in the long run, and God forbid he doesn't blow in yet or something. But that just goes without saying. So
yeah,
the little shit he'll figure out. Matt DSM says he lets go 2 counts way too early. Yeah, that's reps. So
a lot of reps.
Do I trust NXT to get him those reps? Not really, but he's talented enough that he'll figure it out one way or the other. My issues with the Performance Center as an institution are well noted. And we don't have to hash down that road again. So, but he's talented, and some stuff you just learn by doing. So, Shayna Baszler, Nikki Cross, Christopher.
Yeah.
This match, the opening was really cringe.
This was weird and not in a good way.
No, you know what wasn't weird? The V-trigger of death from Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
That was not weird. That was great. You can't see me right now, but I have my 2 fingers up and my thumb facing each other because I am Team Shayna.
Yes.
So, fuck Team Kick. # Team Shayna.
No. You need to calm down with that.
Yeah, Team Shayna right there. But this opening thing, first of all, I am a sporadic NXT watcher. I kind of zone out. Mm-hmm. When did Nikki Cross's music get her screaming orgasms?
The first time that she started striking out on her own, she got.
That's not recent.
No, that's not recent. That's been that. That was about the same time that they brought in Killian Dane. Briefly after they brought in Killian Dane.
I thought the opening was pretty cringe. Excuse me. Yeah. Shayna Omega spamming V-triggers was awesome, though. That was great. The ending was just stupid. I don't have another way to put it. It was just stupid. I get it because they had to do something different than the 2 previous indie-rific big spot matches.
Yeah.
I get it. And they did something different. They tried to tell a story, and it's just I didn't think it was a good story, and I thought it was easily the worst match. I should say easily. It was the worst match on the card.
I mean, it definitely had some worthwhile moments, but this was definitely a case where they brought out the bludgeoning tools a little bit and really tried to hammer home points.
This felt like a WWE match. This did not feel like an NXT match.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was not what these two are capable of, and they did the best with it that they could. I mean, Nikki is really good at selling her gimmick and really making it work. Nikki is really good at that, and Shayna, for her part, sold the whole "what the hell is going on here" bit very well. You know, it was easily some of the best character work that I've seen from Shayna.
It's true because she cut a promo that was charitably very bad.
Yeah,
like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah,
and I was worried, but she's much like her BFF Ronda. No long ass promos, and we'll figure it out as we go along, and we'll get there. I have glowing words for Miss Rousey later in the show.
We will get there too, yeah.
But I am excited to see Shayna Baszler versus the cream of the NXT Women's Division. So
yeah.
And I don't know where does Nikki Cross go to the main roster?
I feel like she kind of has to at this point because
I think she's done everything.
She served her purpose. She has served her purpose. They're not going to put the belt on her. There's no way that in a division that features Kairi Sane and Candice LeRae and is about to have Io Shirai in it, there's no way that they can even afford to put the belt on Nikki. I mean, hell, they can't even afford to put it on somebody like Dakota Kai at this point.
No,
you know, which is to say nothing of the fact that obviously they are in short order going to be strapping a rocket to Bianca Belair's ass and sending her to the fucking moon. So that's that is imminent, and you know we'll see where that goes when we get there. But you know that is absolutely bound to happen. So I don't know though. Like Nikki, I feel like Nikki does need to go up and join the rest of Sanity, make it a complete unit. But by the same token, they don't seem to really have a whole lot of ideas because I mean they had Sanity debut by just being against the whole idea of having wrestling matches. So
yeah, but Sanity's going to work with the Usos. It looks like so that'll be fun.
Yeah,
or not. I don't know. Whatever.
That should be good. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Usos are encountering a group of people who somehow more batshit crazy than they are.
Yeah.
It's in their name, after all.
Yep. And watching them get put off by Sanity promos is going to be very interesting. And seeing Killian Dane throw the two of them.
Yeah, it's very much like the Baszler. It's very much like the Baszler Cross feud, only with men and on the main roster.
Yes.
So whatever. Should be fine. I mean, should be okay.
Yeah.
Lars Sullivan, the Mountain, the Boulder, whatever the hell his nickname is. By the way, thank you God, no Mauro Ranallo on this show, because this could have been a mess. But versus Aleister Black, I thought Vic was fine. I thought he was good. He faded into the background, which is what I want. I don't want a guy screaming dumb pop culture references.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, like He did not have to do the WWE speak too much. There was a line of it during the women's ladder match that I had to rewind and wrote down because it was so bad, and I did not hear anything that bad from this announce team. And that doesn't even count Jonathan Coachman's inanities during the Ronda Rousey match, which, if you haven't seen, holy God, what Jonathan Coachman said was just the dumbest thing.
I don't even want to think about it.
Oh God, we'll get there. Keith Lee, your boy.
Yep, in the crowd.
He looked like he aged about 20 years, by the way.
Yeah, well.
They're like, ooh, Keith, looking a little old there, man. I don't know what you did, but maybe the beard?
Yeah, it's probably the beard. And he's also letting a little bit of the gray start to come in.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
It works for him.
I like Lars Sullivan. He's great.
Yep.
He is Vader, up to including being built from the Rocky Mountains. Just a big old angry guy.
Yeah.
And we've discussed over and over again how much I dislike Aleister Black's gimmick. I still dislike it. It does nothing for me. I don't even dislike it. It does nothing for me. But whatever. I guess I'm not the target audience. What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Lars, my favorite part of this match was Black going to clothesline Lars Sullivan, and Lars Sullivan not only no-selling it, but Black taking the bump despite him being the clothesliner.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Do you want to talk about Aleister Black going 2 for 2 and not main eventing title matches on takeovers?
Yeah, that is definitely a sign that they realize that they need that they have other characters that are, bigger draws than him. They definitely have that, have that understanding to them right now. But I honestly think that they are. I don't know. Well, we'll get into it more when we get to the main event. But I feel like they are taking too much time with things that should have been, over and done with long ago. They're dragging some stuff out that they really didn't need to. I think that they are, in this case, they're capitalizing on popularity of one act, but at the consequence of diminishing the potential of another, and in the process also diminishing their top belt, which is not great by any means. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, it could all end up being, it could all end up being completely fine in the end, but we don't know.
You know what he feels like? It feels like CM Punk being the champion on the main roster, and yet the entire company still revolves around John Cena.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that is a very accurate comparison. And yeah, I mean,
how about the botch from hell?
Which
Did
one?
You see this? Oh, the first Black Mass missing by about 1.5 feet.
Oh yeah.
And Lars still having to go down for it because that's what the match called for.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like,
the botch being so bad, even NXT crowd did the "you fucked up" chant.
Yep.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah, not in an NXT game anyway.
No.
But that was a sight to see. Let me just say. But yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, as good as Lars Sullivan is, and for as long as he's been in developmental, he still is very new to being in the big lights. So it's, in those moments, it's naturally he's going to have some nerves. He's going to probably have some moments where he's not quite with it. But, he still did not quite get there. And he needs to do better. But for every one botch that he had several great moments of, really building himself, because obviously the crowd is into him. The fans are into him. They like the idea of the intelligent but brutal big man.
Yep.
That's a character that they've gotten behind. So I think that, with a little bit more fine tuning, I think he'll be okay. But he's in the meantime, we're just going to have to, accept the fact that he is still a little bit raw.
Every wrestling fan, and at some level in their lizard brain, likes watching big guys beat the shit out of people.
Yes.
So it's super easy to get over if you watch this monster just throw dudes around.
Yep.
So, yep. And Lars is pretty good. I like him. This match was fine. Is that a good word for it? Fine?
Yeah. It served its purpose, which was to, establish Lars as being a threat, but to still give Aleister the agency of, continuing to hold the title. But again, there are a lot of decisions being made that from a business perspective make sense, but from an overall talent usage percentage or talent usage perspective are not optimal. So
true.
I don't know where
weird time in NXT right now.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going to end up. Honestly,
it is kind of a weird time.
Yeah.
So, who beats Black? We are spoiler free, by the way.
Yeah, if somebody has beaten him, I have no idea.
I don't know if anyone has either. I'm just saying.
One spoiler I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm saying they may have teased it. I don't know. They may have.
I feel like at this point it has to be Gargano or Ciampa.
I think it's got to be. I think it has to be Ciampa, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think a face versus face dynamic works well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, they've kind of they've towed the line with Alistair, and they've tried to make it so that they kind of like what they did with Finn Balor, but smarter. They've towed the line in showing that he has that edge to him, and given the right push, could turn into a heel at any moment. So they've done a good job of making that a possibility. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did do it in the event that it was Gargano that they picked. But I think that you're right, and that Ciampa has to be the one.
I think it's Ciampa.
Yeah. And
then does Gargano beat him for the strap down the line, or?
I hope so, but who knows?
Let's talk about Gargano Ciampa. What did you think of this match?
Well, let me just say first and foremost, the opening segment of Gargano walking to the ring and Candice stopping him, handing him the crutch and saying "kick his ass" was probably the happiest I've ever been watching anything in NXT, because that was just brilliant.
The Captain America gear was a nice touch.
I loved it. I loved everything about that. The match itself, I feel like they were doing a good job with it. They maybe went a little bit thick on some of the character elements, and maybe got a little hammy at certain points with a little bit of it. But overall, I feel like they were doing a good job. But that the ending was the very, very wrong decision. But that is that's my thoughts.
I hated the ending, my friend. Because Gargano did the job. I'm not going to be some neckbeard pounding his fist. Man, the wrong guy won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hated the ending because it was absolutely batshit absurdly illogical.
Yeah.
Do you know
it was a ham-fisted way of getting there that they probably could have done better.
Do you know the phrase fridge logic?
No.
Do you know of this phrase?
I do not.
So it was coined by Alfred Hitchcock. He was asked about a scene in the movie Vertigo, I believe, when one character just vanishes from a hotel with no explanation. And he says, it's an icebox scene, in that you don't think about it until after you've gone home and you start pulling out the cold chicken from the icebox. In the heat of the moment, you don't think about it. But then you're standing there at your refrigerator like, that was fucking stupid.
Yep.
In the moment, it rules. But then you look back and you're like, wait a second. This doesn't make any sense that the match wasn't stopped when they are putting Ciampa on a stretcher. This doesn't make any sense that the referee was gone for hours when Ciampa tapped twice.
Yeah.
And most importantly, this doesn't make any sense that if the match wasn't over, Chris, why are guys in suits pulling Gargano off of Ciampa in an unsanctioned street fight?
Yeah.
I thought this finish was shit. At the time, I'm like, whoa, that's pretty creative. And then I'm getting ready to go out. I'm going out. I'm going to see Katie. It's her birthday. A little karaoke. And I'm shaving. And I'm brushing my teeth. And I'm like, that was dumb.
Yeah, come to think of it, that was a terrible decision.
If there are a number of suits pulling one guy off the other in the middle of a street fight, then it is an admission that the street fight is over.
Mm-hmm.
That's
not how this works.
No.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, and it's just the New Orleans match was much better. Much better.
Absolutely. That is an unequivocal truth.
How about the referee going down at exactly the right time and coming back at exactly the right time?
Yeah, I hate when they do that.
Where were you for 8 minutes, Mr. Ref?
I really hate when they do that. That just feels so cheap.
I mean,
I hate when they have those moments where it's
beginning
like,
and
oh,
middle
the
of
refs
this match,
disappeared, and we can't. It's no way that we can possibly send any of the other 6 refs that we have and back down to finish out the match. No, we have to wait for him to get back to being conscious just in time for the babyface to get screwed.
There's no logical explanation as to why the suits were pulling Gargano off Ciampa if the match wasn't over. If the match was over and it was ruled a no contest because one guy could not continue, fine. Fine. And then you want to tell the story of Gargano becoming the monster like he's Nietzsche, fine. Okay. But if the match isn't over, what the fuck are you doing? I thought it was too clever by half. And I thought it hurt the quality of the match and by extension hurt the quality of the show. Yeah. No, it absolutely did. And that is, I think, the going to be the end results of this particular takeover, which is that it had a lot of potential, but the execution behind what they did was basically they outthought themselves. They played themselves, to quote DJ Khaled. Yep. They played themselves because, and I'm not a fan of quoting DJ Khaled. Let me just make that absolutely clear. But it's an entirely appropriate statement to make, though, because they thought that they were giving us this incredibly powerful and intelligent material, and in the end it was just really poor decision making. That's the end dynamic that we have to come to here. It's very poor decision making. Yes, I thought it was illogical at best and harmful at worst. Yes. So the rest of the match I enjoyed. First 20 minutes. First 25 minutes, it was too long too, but Johnny Gargano matches are veering towards the long side these days. Well, again, they are trying to capitalize on the fact that they have a hot commodity because they know that Gargano is, he is now the new Sami Zayn. He is the figure that the crowd. He's the new Sami Zayn. He's the new Bayley. He is the figure that the crowd rallies behind. He is the person that the crowd relates to the most and they want to see win because he's their guy. And when you get right down to it, it's all well and good to be the guy in that regard, but it also opens you up to a lot of options for getting screwed over because management is going to want to capitalize on you as much as possible. And, apparently capitalizing on someone means you have to make them look as low as you possibly can before finally giving them the win they have so desperately needed for such a long time. So it's definitely lacking because and Gargano is not some one-dimensional babyface storyteller that this is all he can do. Much like Sami Zayn, he is capable of doing a lot of different things. And if they give him the opportunity to, they could have him do a lot of different things. But they've latched on to this particular character because this is the one the crowd is latched onto. So, they're milking it for all it's worth. And, credit where credit's due. If you're going to milk a cash cow, you milk it until it's dry. But I think that it's going to come back to bite them in the ass. Because this is not 2014 or 2015 NXT where the talent pool is still pretty slim and you're only just starting to get indie guys into the scene and most of your talent is still homegrown prospects from the Performance Center. This is now 2018 NXT where superstars from the indies are coming in left and right, all jockeying for position at the top of the card, and it's about as dog-eat-dog as it can possibly get. So also, there is something to be said for timing when it comes to putting a guy over. Yes. Do you know how I know? Did you watch SmackDown? No. So there was a gauntlet match to determine who would wrestle AJ Styles for the ladder's belt. I heard that. And Rusev won. Okay. And he was over. But he wasn't as over as he was 4 months ago. Yep. Because for 4 months, the crowd, 6 months, 8 months, the crowd has been begging for Rusev, and they didn't do anything with him. And now the crowd's like, all right, we don't trust that you guys are going to do anything with him. Mm-hmm. Yep. could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So there is something to be said for striking while the iron is hot. It is a cliche, after all, my friend.
Yes, but that's the thing. WWE is not well known for doing that, and even in NXT, they are not well known for doing that. There are plenty of instances in NXT where you can say that they did not strike while the iron's hot. I can think of probably 5 off the top of my head without even breaking a sweat. But you know, this is what we sign up for when we're watching WWE. I mean, it's obviously to a much greater extent on the main roster, to the point where they are capable of irreparably damaging guys because they don't know how to strike properly when the iron is hot. Cough, cough, Roman Reigns, cough, cough. But yeah, I mean, this is just another example of them really overdoing it in a way that they probably should have known better to not do. But
yeah, good match, not great match.
Could have been better.
It could have been a great match.
Could have been better.
Money in the Bank 2018.
Oh God.
Brian, I did not watch the pre-show. Sorry.
I didn't watch any of it.
Okay.
I only caught up with the results.
Brian versus Big Cass. Big Cass. Won't see him no more.
Future endeavored, but not future endeavored because they didn't actually give him any best wishes.
They just kicked his Big Cass to the curb. You know?
Yep.
I hope Daniel Bryan leaves his fucking company. I just do. You know what? I'm just leave. You know, fucking what did Gollum say? Leave now and never return?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Take your wife, take your kid, get your ass over to New Japan, go to CMLL, work the indies at 10 grand a night. Get the fuck out of this company, man. You're being wasted.
Yep.
How about Big Cass broke out a bear hug and a nerve pinch, and I died. I howled. I howled with laughter, Chris. A bear hug, like it's 1930.
Can't wait to see
bear hug. Not even the worst bear hug on the show. We got another one coming later.
Can't wait to see oversized Cassius in the Impact Zone.
Hey, Impact isn't bad. They're better now. They made it out of it.
I know.
Impact has this really cool like LAX thing going on where like Eddie Kingston is like selling drugs out of the back of his car or some shit. It's
holy shit.
Hey, it's fucking crazy right now. It's going. Impact has like this like OI4K or whatever they're called in TNA versus LAX feud, and it's like a Michael Bay movie. It's like a Michael Mann movie. Not a Michael Bay movie. That'd also be weird as hell. It's like a Michael Mann movie. It's like Miami Vice comes to like Toronto, wherever the hell they film shit.
Yeah.
Like Conan is like this mafia don. It's fucking crazy what's going on at Impact right now. You know, like I wish I had pop. I watched it like a couple days after the fact. It's just like it's absurd the crazy shit that happens at Impact.
Yes.
I should probably do an Impact show review for this show one day.
Well,
we're slow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cass is bad, and he's gone, so whatever.
Yep.
Oh, then we had a skit with Kevin Owens trying to butter up, pun intended, the New Day with pancakes out of a hefty bag. I'm done with the fucking pancakes. I'm done with the pancakes. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It was cute like a year ago. And then they had little people come out dressed like pancakes to WrestleMania. And it was one of those moments where you watch and you're embarrassed to be a wrestling fan.
Yep. It was no damn good, as you were very fond of saying, my friend.
No damn good. Owens tried his best. He even shot on IHOP. He's like, I hate breakfast food, and I'm glad IHOP changed their name. Which is one of the rare topical WWE jokes that A, was funny, and B, wasn't a month too late. Normally, they're like so behind the curve with this, but like they were actually kind of on top of it, and it worked. And Kevin Owens is pretty great. So,
I didn't see it. Again, my boycott is still in full effect, but from what I heard, it was not worth seeing.
Yeah, it was a backstage skit, whatever.
Yeah.
How about Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn? We later learned that this match happened because Sami Zayn has like his arm is falling off on both sides of his body.
Oh God.
He has 2 torn rotator cuffs.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's out till at least WrestleMania. Emphasis on at least. Yeah, it's 9 months if everything goes right. Here's the problem with this match. You want to squash Sami Zayn in 30 seconds, 90 seconds, sure, fine, whatever. But this match went 8 minutes, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
You know, like the only thing that could have saved this dog shit program was if it was revealed that Sami Zayn was nailing Bobby Lashley's sisters. Like, that's how bad.
No, that not even that would have.
That's how bad this program was.
Yeah.
Like, also, random segue. I'm kind of shocked that we have 2 Bobbies on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that we still have Bobby Roode, and I'm shocked that we still have Bobby Lashley. They should like wrestle for the right to the word Bobby.
But both also former TNA stars or former Impact stars.
Bobby Lashley's pretty fucking bad. I was wrong. I thought he'd be good. He is, as I like to say, no damn good. No damn good.
No damn
bad.
good.
Like 3.5. Here's what I don't understand, man. You have 3.5 brands, right? 3.5, 4 brands of the deepest roster on the planet. A match like Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn, which achieved nothing and entertained no one, should never happen, Chris. Shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't.
Like, it was 7 minutes. It should have been 90 seconds. So, let's talk about Michael Cole real quick.
Okay.
In general, I am convinced that if I had to rank a list of things on the planet from coolest to least cool, the coolest thing on the planet would be like Keith Lee or The Rock. And the least cool thing on the planet would be Michael Cole yelling catchphrases.
Oh, God.
I am convinced, I will take to my fucking grave, that part of the reason Roman Reigns is not over to the level that he should be is Michael Cole yelling, "It's the big dog!" every time he comes to the ring. Yep. I am convinced that that is part of it. And not a small part, my friend. A big part.
Oh, sure. I
got one for you. You ready? During the women's ladder match, where is it? Scroll down. Oh. Where the fuck is it? Oh, man. My notes are all fucking jumbled. Oh, the Goddess uncorked a right hand on the Irish last kicker. Bad. Fucking terrible. Enough with the catchphrases. The Goddess uncorked a right-hander on the Irish last kicker. That's bad. That's bad, man. It's not good.
Saying that, just hearing that makes me, really makes me just it just makes my blood boil. That's just awful.
I'm telling you, man. It's part of the reason Roman isn't super over.
You know what? Vince probably in a fever dream hears Michael Cole saying it's boss time and probably buries Sasha even further, even because he forgot that he told Michael Cole to say that. That's what I'm going with. Yeah,
it's so bad. The announcing is all time terrible. All time. Like it's just. Then we had Seth Elias, or as I like to put it, a battle between the dark medium hair bearded guy with pants.
Yep.
Here we go. This match had about a minute and a half of great and about 12 minutes of eh. Chris, if Seth and Elias tag team, what do you think their tag team name would be? I came up with a few. You ready for the few I came up with?
Yeah, go for it.
The Drifting Architects.
Okay.
The Truba Slayers. And my favorite, you ready? The Guitar Architects. The Guitar Architects is pretty great.
That's awesome.
That one
I'm here for that.
No, I did not. That one is too good. I cannot lie and say I came up with it. The Guitar Architects I saw on Twitter. You know, but the Drifting Architects is all me. I am here for that. You know, they would have some terrible ass name where they blend their name together, like the Guitar Architects. So this felt like a TV match. Which was okay. The match was good. There was a really sick sequence where Rollins misses a suicide dive, so Elias grabs him outside the ring. They're outside the ring. And he throws him into the ring posts like he's Braun Strowman. And then he throws him into the ring steps like he's, I guess Braun Strowman. And then he throws him into the ring. And then he hits him with a diving elbow in about 10 seconds. And that was great.
Yeah.
Have you seen the GIF for that? That was awesome.
No, but I will look that up.
That was great. It was like
sounds awesome.
literally like in 10 seconds. You can count to 10. And in this 10-second span was Miss Suicide Dive. Elias throws Rollins into the post. Then he throws him into the stairs. Then he puts him back in the ring. And then he climbs the steps. And he climbs the turnbuckle. And he hits him with an elbow. And he pins him for a 2.5.
Nice.
That was awesome. You know what wasn't awesome? Every Seth Rollins match has him selling the knee.
Yep.
You know what isn't? Okay, fine.
It's going to be that way until Judgment Day.
Yeah, I'm done with the knee selling. Okay.
Yeah.
You know why I'm done with the knee selling? Because I don't want Seth Rollins selling the knee for 8 minutes and then running up the turnbuckle to hit the suplex and Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
He's walking with a limp, and all of a sudden he's fine, so he can run up the turnbuckle.
I mean, we've talked about this in reference to New Japan on a number of occasions. Their inability to have proper selling at times, and people just suddenly coming back. I mean, that's all well and good in small doses if you want to make it, make the match really work. Just to move it along. But this is not a case of that because they do it every fucking match.
Seth's selling of his leg was so bad that even Coach was like, maybe he's playing possum.
Yeah.
Because what is he supposed to say? Like,
yeah.
not Coach's fault. The rare time it wasn't Coach's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Seth, not selling on offense. So, women's Money in the Bank.
Oh, God.
I'm going to ask you a question, Chris.
First of all, I called it.
Yeah.
I called it. I mean, it wasn't Lana, but still, it was one of the four.
By the way, Lana, not bad.
Shocking. I
mean, she managed to surpass the very low expectations we had for her.
Extremely low expectations.
But there was still a not insignificant chance she could have not passed those low expectations. And she passed them. So, Great. Let's, I'm going to ask you a question. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, of these following 3 names, who is going to spend the rest of their life in a wheelchair first? Will Ospreay, Hiromu Takahashi, or Sasha Banks?
Yes.
Did you see the bump that Sasha took on the ladder?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it, and just hearing about it made me sick to my stomach hearing about it.
Sasha, you're like 120 pounds. I love you, girl. You're great. You're awesome.
You don't need to kill yourself for women's wrestling. Seriously, as much as WWE fucks up women's wrestling for you, and I know you want to prove that it's worthwhile. Even despite that, you still don't need to kill yourself for women's wrestling, Sasha. It's not worth it. You have to come to a point in time where you say it's not worth it.
Yeah, this match was great. As expected, it was super pre-planned. They weren't even trying to have people brawl on the outside, Chris. Everyone just sat on the outside waiting for their turn. 2 people would roll into the ring. They would do a wacky spot, and they would roll out of the ring, and then 2 more people would roll into the ring. Instead of, pretending to wrestle on the outside, Naomi was sitting there staring, waiting for a moment for, 3 minutes opposite the hard cam without moving.
Yeah.
Rehearsing in her head. That's how pre-planned it was. But you know what? It was way better than both women's Money in the Bank matches last year.
Yeah.
So Becky Lynch saved Charlotte's life. She was going to give her a Bexploder. So she took 1 step forward and missed the ladder instead of hit her head in the ladder. So Becky Lynch, you are a good friend.
Yes.
Becky Lynch, you can give me a Bexploder any day, and that's not a fucking metaphor. You're a good friend, Becky Lynch, because you could have done that Bexploder right where you were standing, and poor Charlotte's brains would have been splattered all over the ring. But she took 1 step forward, and she saved her life.
Yep.
Bex, you're a good friend.
Well done, Becky.
So, let's talk about. Oh, we didn't talk about this last week. Did you know Baron Corbin shaved his head?
Yeah, I've seen images.
He looks much better. Now, I don't mean to go all fucking Jim Cornette, but why not put the hair on the line in a match? Like,
maybe they
put a hair versus mask match or something.
Maybe because they realized that having yet another Baron Corbin match would just make it even more apparent that Baron Corbin is a fucking terrible wrestler. So they decided to just have him shave it.
Oh, yeah, Matt, you're right. Alexa was totally late on the ending. Oh, my God, Chris.
I heard something else about Naomi having to, like, flub taking the case out because somebody else was late getting to their spot.
Yes, but I don't remember who was late.
Like, I saw Naomi, like, make a tweet about it, and I was just like, I read the tweet, and I was just like, oh, God. There was a thing that actually happened. Oh,
so
Jesus.
Becky is alone in the match, and she's climbing the match, and she unhooks the little carabiner.
Yeah.
But which is probably when Alexa was supposed to like push the ladder off.
Yeah.
But Alexa was late, so she stood there with the carabiner unhooked for like what felt like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But it was probably like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
What a loser.
Yeah.
Becky looked like a little fucking dweeb.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Becky Lynch leaves this company too, man.
She deserves better.
Go to the fucking Stardom or Pro Wrestling Eve or Shimmer or whatever the fuck. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
You know? Like you're too damn good for this shit.
Yep. So many people were just too good for this shit. Yep.
Let's talk about Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal.
Oh, please enlighten me.
Jinder Mahal botched getting into the ring, Chris. I swear on my sister's eyes. So they're outside the ring. Roman Reigns gets in the ring, and this is where Jinder's back to the hard cam. So that side, right? So you can see his back.
Yeah.
And he reaches his right arm up to the rope to get into the ring, and he swings his left leg over on the apron to get into the ring, and he fucking slipped.
Oh my God.
So we have to do the whole motion again.
Oh,
Fucker botched getting into the ring.
Lord.
Like, what the blue fuck, man? That's like first day shit. That's like 0 day shit.
Yeah.
Like,
if you can't get inside the ring, you don't belong there at all.
The random celebrity they have on Raw, like, you know, when they have the random celebrity segment in the ring.
Yeah.
That fucker gets into the ring, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Jinder couldn't do it. I mean, let's see. Sunil Singh and his Batista during his I Quit promo in 2010 was great. He was in a wheelchair with like a neck brace and like a sling because that was great. Glasses and like a dress shirt.
Nice.
Sunil Singh was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's this match was this match sucked. It was bad. Bad match. Bad match. Bad long. It was like 16 minutes.
Yeah.
And 15 of them were Jinder Mahal headlocks. This whole gimmick of let's give Roman Reigns headlocks, like this needs to not be a gimmick anymore.
Yeah, just stop.
Like Samoa Joe gave a shitload of no. Like it's just, I mean, Roman tried for a little bit, and then he's like, "Fuck this! I'm not trying. This guy blows," and I don't blame him. Like in the beginning, you can tell in the beginning he was like trying, and he was like bumping, and he was like selling, and then halfway through, he was like, you could see to himself, like, "Wait a second, Jinder Mahal blows. Why am I killing myself?"
Yeah,
and I don't blame him at all. Believe me.
That is a sign of the times, my friend. When company man Roman Reigns, who
like,
you talked about that one time you saw him and Sheamus at a house show putting each other through.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I told you about that. Late 2015, they beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, on a house show, it means nothing. And here we are, fast forward 2.5 years later, and he's fucking phoning it in on pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, the match was so long that the crowd's random chanting stopped because they were tired of randomly chanting shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, guys, you got this. Just wrestle another 30 minutes, and you'll beat the crowd into silence. You got this.
Oh, my God.
It was just a fucking waste of time. I read some
reports about what the chants involved.
Oh, man. We got a Let's Go Cena sucks chant.
Oh my god.
Like this, we got Accidental Blood, which was great.
Okay.
And we got a recap in the middle of the pay-per-view of the show that we were watching. Like, wait a second, guys, I just watched this.
Oh my lord.
So, yeah, that's three boring as fuck Roman Reigns matches in a row. Like, can we get this guy against someone who's not terrible? And or can we book this guy against someone who is good, who's allowed to wrestle him good? Because Samoa Joe wasn't. It's fucking Shinlock City, you know? But whatever. This match fucking blew. And like 5% of it's Roman Reigns' fault and 95% of it's Jinder Mahal's fault.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Then we had Asuka Carmella. Talk about a bad 2-match stretch. God, can you imagine the vortex? Can we just have, Joe Lanza said this on his podcast. He goes, how much better would a Roman Reigns Asuka match have been? And how much worse would a Carmella Jinder match have been? Carmella Jinder may have made a match that is so terrible that like a black hole would have opened up in the middle of the ring and sucked all of us into it. Like in the Star Trek movie where the bad guy puts the black hole in the planet and the planet just gets destroyed. Like that's what would have happened if fucking Carmella and Jinder Mahal had a match.
Jesus Christ.
That's the Vulcan. Like,
oh my lord.
Yeah, this match should have been like a squash, but we got a James Ellsworth back. And,
that.
Friend of the show, Madeline, said it best on Twitter, and I wrote this down. She goes, knew the Ellsworth distraction was coming and was still somehow disappointed. Like, yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
Yep. It had to be. It had to be.
Yeah. Carmella's really fucking terrible. She can't bump either. She goes down too early.
Yeah, like, but let me just take a minute to say, whoever would have predicted that out of the trio to leave NXT, Carmella would be the last one standing?
Remember the takeover video, the 24 video where like Triple H is talking to End Zone Cast and says, "And Carmella's staying in NXT." Like, yeah, Carmella's not no damn good in the ring. So we got AJ Nakamura.
Half an hour. I saw that this went half an hour, and the
last 3 minutes were awesome. The first 27, I was not paying attention.
I believe it.
Let's talk
when your entire feud is built up on freaking dick shots, like people are eventually going to stop being interested.
Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about two things I hated in this match. One, AJ Styles deserves to lose if he's gone this many matches against Nakamura without wearing a cup.
Yeah.
The guy's entire gimmick is punching you in the balls. Go to fucking Dick's Sporting Goods, pun intended, and buy a cup.
Really? It's not hard. These are the basics.
No. And two, and I hated this. You ready? Very first thing in this match, a match built on two guys hitting each other in the balls. It was a fucking lockup.
Yep.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. A lockup, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, so we have a match where the only way you can win is to beat the other man senseless. So we're going to do a lockup and have Matt wrestling.
Yep.
I was bored of an AJ Styles match, man. Now, the end was great. They had this great spot. They're going to talk about when this match got good. So Nakamura finally went for the low blow. You know, like the exaggerated with the forearm low blow.
Yep.
And he missed. AJ ducked out of the way because he's a fucking Spider-Man.
Yep.
And Nakamura was like on his knees holding his forearm, like looking at his arm, like in shock and despair. He was like, oh no, my ace in the hole didn't work. You know?
Whoever would have guessed.
That was great. Nakamura's facial expressions were awesome in this match. AJ's were awesome too. These guys are both natural heels because they both bump and sell, which is something heels got to do.
Yeah.
So the ending was awesome. Did you see the ending?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen any of this. So
Okay, so I'll stop asking you then.
Refresh me.
So AJ goes for a Styles Clash off the stairs, and Nakamura gets up at 9.
Of course.
And he is on the the announce table, and AJ's outside, and Nakamura's standing there, and AJ just punts him in the balls to the point where there's like a sound effect.
Yeah.
And Nakamura goes down like he's dead, and then AJ goes in the ring and hits him with the forearm from the ring to the table.
Nice.
And he don't get up. Yeah. Last like 3 minutes of this match were really great. The first like 28 of this match were pretty boring. Let's talk about my favorite match on the show.
Okay.
Let's talk about Ronda Rousey.
I definitely want to hear about this. Yes.
Okay. Ronda Rousey is such a natural at this, my friend. Nobody else has come close to having a match this good with Nia Jax.
This is something I actually have seen tidbits of, so I can actually say I can actually offer some input on this.
Not only her offense, but her selling was Lesnarian back when he had his fastball.
Lesnarian.
Lesnarian. You know what makes Brock an awesome seller? Because he's been in a fight and he knows how to react.
Yes.
Breaking news: Ronda Rousey also been in fights.
Yes.
She, you know, the key with Ronda is that she is such a natural athlete, and you can tell because she moves with a fluidity that only a few legit high-level athletes have. She's fluid. You know what she reminds me of?
Yeah.
An NFL defensive lineman shedding a block and getting to the quarterback. You know that fluid? You know what I'm talking about?
My man Fletcher Cox, who just ducks the line.
Your man Fletcher Cox, where he just, in one motion, he hits the guy with his arm, shifts his body weight over, takes off, shifts his body weight back over, and all of a sudden there's a guy on the ground.
Yep.
Like, that's the kind of fluidity and body balance that she has. Second televised match. First singles televised match, and she carried Nia Jax to her best match ever, or one of her best matches ever. Not only is she a natural, call her fucking Annie Sullivan, because she's the fucking miracle worker. Been saving that one.
Nice.
She did a.
That was worthwhile. It was worth.
She did a move, a step up V trigger that had me gasping. So she runs, bounces off the ropes. Nia's standing there dazed. She steps her left or right leg onto Nia's left thigh, pushes herself up with her leg, and then knees Nia in the face with the other leg. Picture a step-up enziguri, but a step-up V-trigger. It's my new favorite move in wrestling. She did this move and I was fucking buzzing. It was unbelievable.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, a step-up enziguri, like you could picture that, but a step-up V-trigger in one motion. God. Now, let's talk about the 6th thing. I made a list of the 6 things that Ronda does that separate her from every other woman on the main roster. Now, some of the other women do a few of these, but only Ronda does all 6 of them. Are you ready?
Okay.
Number 1, and these are in no particular order. Number 1, she makes great facial expressions for decisions and conveying emotion. There was a spot in the match where she does the arm bar through the ropes, where she's hanging from the ropes and Nia's in the ring, you know, where the referee counts to 5 and you let go of 4. And so Nia sells death because it's an armbar from Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
and Ronda,
that's what you do.
Yeah, and she's lying there in the ring, and Ronda's standing on the apron catching her breath, and she looks at the turnbuckle, and she looks out, and she looks back at the turnbuckle, and you can see the wheels turning, and she makes the decision with her face to convey time to go for it. This is my chance.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. So that's number 1. Number 2, she has energy in everything that she does. She doesn't coast. Number 3, she never stands around waiting for her spot. She's always doing something. She's always active. Yep. She's selling, she's flexing, she's bouncing around, she's doing something. Number 4, she knows how to emote herself when she's in trouble. Somehow, the baddest girl on the roster is the most sympathetic one, too. Number 5, she understands timing and pacing. She doesn't do anything too fast. She doesn't do anything too slow. Even the armbar, she takes her time to give it meaning. You know? She doesn't move super fast to get her shit in. And number 6, she's an awesome striker.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and that's something that only can come from experience of
absolutely.
real life, having done that.
She is the guy. Whatever. I mean, I am driving this train, man. And
Yeah.
I've been driving the train since WrestleMania, and she is a natural. And maybe it's in the water because we saw Kurt Angle. I mean, not MMA, but close enough in Greco-Roman wrestling. And we know about Matt Riddle, and we know about Tom Lawler and how easily they have taken to this. But I really think there's something to be said for being in a combat sport, whether it is freestyle wrestling or boxing or MMA, because it really teaches you how to sell. Instead of the over-the-top shit, you stagger back and you shake your head because what just happened to me? I got hit. What? No.
Yeah.
Like
the Dolph Ziggler ragdoll that we've seen for
Oh.
years and years and years is not realistic or at all, inspired by anything that actually occurs in combat. That is not how that actually works.
No.
And it has its place, but it rapidly is losing that place.
Let's talk about Nia Jax, who I have ragged on this show. I thought she was very good in this match.
Okay.
I mean, she was throwing big people, throwing around little people always makes me happy, and she was fucking throwing Ronda around, and Ronda was landing on body parts and selling pain. And this is the first time that Nia Jax has looked like a monster, and it's because of a former MMA fighter. Like, fuck, man. She's it. She's it, man. Ronda's the dude. Or the guy, whatever you want to say. Who's the guy? Ronda's the guy. Like, absolutely 100% the guy. I hope and pray she doesn't blow anything out.
Yeah.
Like, I have heard there's been rumors that she's doing this for a year because she wants to have children. Well, selfishly, I hope she adopts. A lot of children out there who need to be adopted. PSA. And B, I don't want her taking any time off to have a child and then come back from that. Like, because I'm being selfish. Like, she's great, man. I thought I did a good job describing it at WrestleMania, how 80,000 people were fixated on her. She's charismatic. She hulked up and the crowd lost their fucking minds.
Yep.
Like, she judo threw Nia Jax with a judo toss that Nia sandbagged the shit out of her for. So it was all Ronda using leverage. And after she judo tosses her, she stands over her and starts slapping her shoulders, and hulking up. And the crowd's losing their fucking minds. And it's great. And then Alexa Bliss came out because she's 2003 Triple H combined with 2018 Brock Lesnar and cashed in. But whatever. Yeah, dumb. But we'll see. Now Ronda's suspended for 30 days.
I saw the segment that occurred on Raw, or at least the important parts of it.
The timing was a little off. I thought it dragged a little long, but I did like Stone Cold Ronda Rousey, killing people.
Mm-hmm.
The first 45 minutes of Raw were great. The rest of the show was less great because the show opened with the Ronda Nia, the Ronda Alexa thing with Kurt Angle. And then right after that was a really good Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins match for the Intercontinental that Dolph won.
Yeah.
And then the show was much less great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, and then we had the main event, the men's Money in the Bank match. I think I am desensitized to these ladder matches because I don't remember a ton of this, but I do remember Kevin Owens flying to his death. And I hope he's okay, and it looks like he's okay.
Yeah,
but Braun won. Yeah, Braun won. We'll see what happens. Like, I don't know. I don't remember a lot. The match was good, but it's just I'm just desensitized to these ladder matches. I've seen so many of them lately between Ring of Honor and WWE and NXT.
Yeah.
So yeah, Christopher, we have about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You want to talk about your girl?
Well, real quick.
I talked about my girl for 10 minutes. You want to talk about yours?
Real quick, let me just very quickly say, and this in a very surprising development, I want to mention, the WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament happened earlier this week, and Has it already been broadcast on the network? I don't even know if it's already been broadcast on the network.
No, next week.
Next week it's been broadcast? Okay, then we'll leave.
I thought I saw it next week somewhere.
I don't okay. I don't know. But all right, so then I'll leave the results for now. What I will say is that there was the announcement of, and this is something that has not been hidden on social media, but there was the announcement of a new TV program called NXT UK that is going to be occurring starting late July. That leaves me very excited for the future because the expansion into UK wrestling, which is, the UK wrestling scene has been revelatory over the past few years.
Yep.
And to get to see some of those stars being showcased in NXT, even if it is only guys who are in there on a part-time basis, like Pete Dunne and Mustache Mountain are. Even if that's the only way that they're really being showcased, I still think that it will be well worth seeing and watching. And I'm excited to see who they bring in for those shows. But yeah, let's round this out by talking about Io Shirai, who last week had her final show ever as part of the Stardom roster. She announced early in after she lost the Wonder of Stardom title to Momo Watanabe, she announced that she was retiring from the company, and it is pretty much all but confirmed at this point that she is bound for NXT, following in the footsteps of Kairi Hojo, now better known as Kairi Sane. I want to just take a moment to talk about the fact that the career of Io Shirai in Stardom alone would be enough to merit Hall of Fame consideration in any other company in the world for a performer of any tenure in the world. Let me run down these list of accomplishments here. World of Stardom Championship 2 times for a grand total of 1,014 days over 2 reigns. Wonder of Stardom Champion over 2 reigns, 375 days. Goddess of Stardom Champion 1 reign, 407 days alongside Mayu Iwatani. Artist of Stardom Champion, the Trios belts, 6 different occasions with multiple partners for a combined total of 717 days. 292 days as the High Speed Champion, 64 days as the SWA Undisputed.
What's the High Speed Champion? Is it a different promotion?
No, it's part of Stardom. It's like their, I guess you could call it like their, it would be the equivalent of like the Cruiserweight belt, but without weight classes. It's basically designed around different style of performance. 64 days as the SWA Women's Champion, which is Stardom's equivalent of the UK Championship. It's meant to be held by someone who is from outside of Japan. She was the inaugural champion and then dropped it, and it's never been held by a Japanese woman ever since. Okay. But she was the inaugural champion, 64 days. And just, I could go for a day, a solid day, listing off incredible matches that Io Shirai has had with a list of opponents as long as my arm. It's the kind of thing that you would expect to see from someone who has been around the business for many years, who is a veteran that has been through the ringer and back, and who has accomplished everything there is to accomplish, and who is ready to move on to the next phase of life. All of those things are true for Io Shirai, except for the fact that she's only 28 freaking years old.
Yeah, she's just sitting her stride, man.
She's been in this business for 11 years. She's 28 years old. She's the best women's wrestler on the planet, and she is just getting started.
Chris, man, she does everything well. Everything. There are no holes in her game.
No,
she has no holes. She has no weaknesses. She does everything well.
Mm-hmm. There is not a single thing that Io Shirai is incapable of doing, and that is why she is the best women's wrestler on the planet and one of the best regardless of gender. Sure, there may be some who are better than her at certain things, but there is no one better than her in the ring, and she is a stellar character worker as well. She's showed that throughout the course of the past 3 years, going from that match I talked about at the top of the show, where she beat Meiko Satomura for the belt, going from that match to 1 year later, her heel turning on her partner Mayu Iwatani, and them having one of the best women's matches in history in December of 2016 for the belt. Going on to become the leader of Queen's Quest, leading that stable, and being the face of the company, the face of women's wrestling in Japan.
The ace. Yep.
The ace. The undisputed ace. When it comes to comparison, there's only one person who even comes close within her age and level of experience, and that's Arisa Nakajima, who has far less public presence because of the fact that she's in a number of the smaller Joshi promotions. She does a lot of work with JWP and Seedling, but they have nowhere near the following that Stardom does. Io Shirai's name is renowned in the world of wrestling for being synonymous with incredible skill and incredible talent. And that is only going to grow when she enters NXT. And she is going to be entering NXT to face some of the best in the world on a regular basis.
This NXT women's roster is the most stacked women's roster since the mid-90s All Japan Women.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how loaded this roster is for women.
To say nothing of the fact that they are signing so many overseas performers to part-time contracts, and bringing in a lot of the UK stars to perform in some of the way that the UK men have. Expect to see a number of Io Shirai versus Toni Storm matches. Expect to see Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane on the regular. Expect to see Io Shirai versus the likes of Nixon Newell, who's now Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler even, possibly. And the list goes on. I mean, there is... She's going from being the biggest fish in a relatively small pond to now being the biggest fish in the biggest pond. Only the other fish don't know she's coming. And when she hits that roster, first day that she is in NXT, that she is out there for the crowds, those who know her are going to continue to be amazed by how incredible she is. Those that don't know her are going to be stunned into disbelief at how incredible she is. It's going to re-energize this entire division, and it's going to make everything bigger and more important. Everything. Her presence
tide lifts all boats, man.
Yes. Her presence brings immediate agency, even more agency than the division already had. It brings even more agency to what they are doing in the NXT Women's division. And it is going to be incredible. Mark my words and mark your calendars for when you hear about Io Shirai coming into NXT. She may even end up being in the second Mae Young Classic, which is going to be happening later this summer. And if she is, I'm calling it right now that she's winning the whole fucking thing. Immediately, I'm calling that. I mean, yeah, I get that, WWE may not want to have it be 2 years in a row that they have a women's tournament won by a Japanese wrestler, but she's the best in the fucking world. She's the best. And you don't have the best underperform in their debut. You just don't. So, needless to say, I am just a little bit excited for what's to come.
Yeah, me too. And I am not the Joshi fan that you are, so I'm thrilled for you, my friend.
The most important thing I can say about this, though, and this is the true sign of greatness, the truest sign of her being worth every bit of a reputation that she has. She is leaving Stardom as the best women's wrestler on the planet, and that roster right now looks more capable of delivering and being amazing than it has in the past, in the entirety of its history. She has elevated every single person on that roster, from the veterans that have been there alongside her the whole time to the youngest trainees in the dojo. She has elevated every single one of them with her leadership and her presence and her constantly raising the bar and inspiring everyone else to perform at her level. And Stardom is going to be amazing as even after she leaves. They have so much potential. That roster is amazingly stacked as a Joshi promotion right now. They have, even without having recognizable names besides Mayu Iwatani, she's the last big name left. But there are so many people on that roster that are about to explode and become immediately recognized names within the wrestling world. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen because it is an exciting time. So that is the true mark of greatness for Io Shirai. The fact that she leaves that roster better than she found it. And that roster is prepared to continue her legacy even as she goes on. This is not quite the same as it was when Kairi Hojo left last year, because Io was still there and Mayu was still there and a number of their other veterans were still there. Now a bunch of their veterans have gone and Io is leaving. Io's left. Mayu is the last one left. But that roster is so ready to grab their destiny and make the name for themselves beyond the stars that have been the face of the company. They are ready to have new faces of the company, and I cannot wait to see what happens. So that is probably the greatest thing that I can say about Io Shirai, is that she has been a true leader and a true example for every single person that she has worked with in that company. And I'm happy that Stardom utilized her to the greatest potential that they could, and I am incredibly excited for what's still to come. There are only good things to come.
Sky's the limit.
Yes. And you, my friend, I am most excited of all for you to be able to see her stuff on the regular.
Oh, she's so good. She's so fucking good.
You are going to gain a newfound appreciation for what I love. And
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So that is going to do it for us for this week for episode 63 of Two Guys One Sports. We got plugs. We got to let people know. We got stuff going on. We got other great shows to let everybody know about.
I was just on Sports Bros with Philip Exman and
talk about that
2 hours ago. Yeah, it was great. We talked World Cup. We talked a little NBA draft. Philip talked about Pro Wrestling Eve and Charlie Morgan or Morton. I always forget which one it is. Morgan, thank you. Who he was raving about because she is quite great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. We just did it. Check out my Twitter feed. It'll be there at Giatsavis.
Excellent.
G-A-T-S-A-V as in Victor E-S.
Yes. You can also check out all of our friends that we talk to you about every week and let you know to go and check out. If you haven't been checking them out, then you've been missing out. Wednesday Night Shooting with Tanya Rogers and Andrew M. Swift, as always, an excellent listen. Well worth your time. Follow them on Twitter at Militia Malice Joe and Andrew M. Swift. Get all the information that they have to offer because they are both incredible wrestling minds and they know their stuff and they are wildly entertaining on their show. Well worth the time. Our buddy Don Sal over at Cedar Bridge Media, you can follow him for his show Match Fixing. Also an incredibly knowledgeable individual. Don Sal is a friend of the show, friend to us, and we
love Don Sal.
So
he's a good dude.
To know him.
He's a good dude.
Yep. And I highly recommend you give him a follow as well at Kusmano_Sal and also at Cedar_Bridge to get the full lineup from Cedar Bridge Media. Our friends over at Shootin' Debris, Takers Media and Mr. Dr. Senju are going to be celebrating their 1-year anniversary 1 week from this Saturday. So June 30th, they're going to be having their 1-year anniversary show. They'll be starting 1 hour earlier, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're giving you the notice now so you can mark your calendars and make sure you're there, make sure you're listening, and it's going to be a great time. I unfortunately am not going to be there because I'm going to be spending the day down in Philadelphia touring Lincoln Financial Field with a friend of mine.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it was a birthday present. Oh yeah, he got me to take it as a birthday present along with a really sweet Brian Dawkins jersey. So that was awesome to get. But yeah, I will not be there, but I'm sure that there will be an amazing assembled cast of luminaries and dignitaries to talk all the great wrestling stuff. And we highly recommend that you check them out. You can find them at Shootin' Da Breeze 1. That's Shootin' Da BREEZ 1 on Twitter, as well as at their personal Twitters at Takers_Minion and MRDR Senju. Takers Minion also has started a new podcast with Biff Kensington that happens on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, except on Sundays of WWE pay-per-views. It's called Connoisseurs of Wrestling, and it's a really interesting show that talks about wrestling history and how it compares to current events that are going on in wrestling. Really great show if you are a fan of just general wrestling knowledge and getting to know more about this form of entertainment that we love and hold so dear to our hearts. Finding out about its origins and where its origins fit into the current day. We highly recommend you go and check them out. Again, Sunday nights, except on weeks where WWE pay-per-views are taking place, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Definitely go and check them out. You can follow us on Twitter as well at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle. Follow us on our personal Twitters. George mentioned his before at GetSavis. Follow me on Twitter as well at CrazyChris576. I can also be found over on twitch.tv at twitch.tv/CrazyChris576. If you are a video game person and want to check me out playing video games mediocrely, you can find me over there. Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays.
Don't sell yourself short.
Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights. You can find me over there on twitch.tv at /CrazyChris576. Check out the link below the video in the description. You'll find our iTunes page. You can go over there, give us a rating, give us a recommendation, subscribe, and give everybody the word to come and check us out. We love having you guys in the audience and participating in the show. It's always great to have you here. Thank you guys for being part of this. Next week, we have episode 64 coming your way. And we've got New Japan on the docket. We're going to be talking about the G1 blocks. We're going to talk about the G1 special that's going to be happening in California. And we're going to be, again, I said before, we're holding off on this until it actually airs. But we will talk about the WWE UK Championship Tournament, the second UK Championship Tournament, which was filmed earlier this week.
I think it airs like Wednesday or Thursday, so we could talk about it.
Great.
I think.
Great.
Don't call me.
Yeah, well, it's
I just show up every Thursday at 7:59, and then we talk about wrestling. You're the one who does all the heavy lifting.
Either way,
Chris got behind the curtain. Chris sends me a DM at like 7:55. Like, all right, shows up, and then I don't say anything for like 4 minutes. Like, hello. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here we are. Let's go. Let's talk. You know.
All right, and
ladies and gentlemen,
I think that's it. Yeah. Take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, a sincere thank you for starting your weekend with us. You guys make this really worthwhile. We like talking to you. I like talking to Chris. I like talking to you guys. Yeah. The chat's a cool little feature. I love doing it. Mm-hmm. So be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Enjoy the professional wrestling. Don't work yourself into a shoot. That's Chris. I'm George. Good night, everybody.
Episode 63 is in the books.